The following program deals with mature subject matter and is intended for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello? Hello?
Who you looking for?
Butch Patterson?
Straight ahead, baby. I'm wearing a brown hat.
This is an idiotically out-of-the-way place for a meeting, isn't it?
It was the first place that popped into my head. I used to come here every day when I was a boy.
Why?
I never figured that out. You got the greenbacks, baby?
I want to see the pictures first.
It played out just like you postulated, Sunflower. Your husband was a regular down at the strip club. He didn't mind tossing a few extra bucks towards the girls for private lessons. You get my drift. If you don't, that means he paid them to have sex with them.
Why is there a photograph of you naked and holding a bouquet of flowers and an IUD?
Well, after all you've been through, I figured you needed a little reminder not all men are the same. Some of us are romantics.
I've got to get back. It's a 2-hour drive to the city.
You ought to try walking it. So your contact used to mule drugs for rubella. Got a little greedy and decided to skim some off the top for a retirement fund.
Only Tommy caught on. Now my guy's looking for a ticket out. I hinted that my boss might be willing to open his wallet if the story checks out.
That don't sound too much like your boss.
Well, he doesn't know about it yet. But it's a big story. I have faith in his ego.
Blanche?
Carolyn?
Oh my gosh.
You look great.
So do you. I'm sorry you're with someone.
That's okay. This is my friend, Butch Patterson.
I had 7 desserts. I had to undo my pants. Should have a seat.
Butch lives his life by a different set of standards. The kind an idiot with a drinking problem might have. I haven't seen you since you left the paper. How's motherhood treating you?
That's why I'm in the city. I just had a meeting with the Board of Education about my son. He's having problems at school.
Tell him to sit beside the smart kid. That way he ain't never got to read no books.
He is the smart kid.
Well, there's your problem, lady. Nobody likes a little brown-nosing prick. And no offense, but your kid sounds like the king of the pricks.
What's the problem?
Every year they have this reading drive. You collect sponsors and they give you money based on how many books you can read in a certain time frame. Billy always has the most sponsors, but every year he finishes second. It wouldn't bother me except it always goes to the same kid, Margot something or other.
Any luck with the school board?
Not unless I can produce some concrete evidence that this Margot kid is on the take.
Sounds like you need to get your hands on a good dick. You should be more careful about who you hit in the future. Not all men are as refined as me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go to the washroom and freshen up.
I mentioned the idiot part, right?
Hello, handsome. Get a load of the size of that cockroach on the ceiling.
Help! Hey, what are you doing? Hey, help! Where's my bag? That's my bag! Come on!
Stay away from the special. This one's on me, ladies.
I've got to be getting back to work, but I'll call you later, Carolyn. Promise. Trust me, once you cut past the stupidity, insecurity, abject sexism, premature ejaculation, the drinking, and that whole petting zoo thing, he's not a bad guy.
The hell was she talking about?
Forget it. Listen, about my kid. Blanche was saying you might be able to help me out?
You know, Buzz Aldrin wore this hat in the moon.
Good morning, Margot. I was just in the process of introducing our new foreign exchange student. He's here to learn English as a second language. That's why he's quite a bit older than the rest of you. Now remember, that doesn't mean he's not smart, just that he doesn't speak English well enough to appear smart. So I'd like you all to make him feel welcome. His name is Pierre Moutard, but from now on we'll call him by his Anglophone name, Pete Mustard.
Hi, Pete Mustard.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Pete, we're a little short on textbooks, so for today you can buddy up with William Philpott seated next to you.
Bonjour, Willie.
You smell like smoke. Smoking's bad for you. It gives you cancer. You're gonna die of lung cancer.
Yes, Pete?
Willie's teasing me.
Leave the Frenchman alone, Willie. And I must say, Mr. Mustard, your English seems quite proficient to me.
Well, I picked up a bit of conversational back in the homeland. But I suck the hind tit when it comes to grammar.
Well then, to get a better gauge of your skill level compared to the rest of the class, why don't we have a pop quiz worth 95% of your final mark?
Sacre bleu!
That's all the time, class. Hand in your test papers on the way out to recess.
Things were looking up. I'd aced my first test and I'd put a face to this Margot dame. Now all I had to do was get the scoop on her little reading scam and I'd be swimming ass deep in greenbacks. Rubella. My gut had told me this was more than your standard egomaniacal little schoolgirl looking to make a name for herself as a good reader. But I didn't count on her being in cahoots with Tommy. Getting the lowdown on this gig just got a whole lot more perilous. I made a mental note to hit up Caroline for another 5 G's for danger pay. She'd coughed up my original fee without a hiccup, so I figured she'd be kosher with me bumping the total up to $5,162. In the meantime, I figured I'd see if I couldn't make a new friend.
Are you the reporter lady?
Blanche du Maurier.
I want to see the money.
Not until I verify your story first.
Maybe I should forget it. Tommy has his ways. He'll know it was me that sold him out.
He knows you stole the drugs and money already. Tommy's going to kill you, with or without my story. At least I'm giving you a chance at getting away. Deal?
I want protection for my kid, too. Enough money to get started. New haircuts, tap lessons, everything.
What about her mother?
She was mauled to death by sea lions. I've always suspected rubella was involved. The cops ruled it an accident, but they didn't know her like I did. She hated the ocean, and there was no way she would have that much halibut in her purse.
Like I said, only if the story checks out. So, do we have a deal?
William, I'm afraid you scored so low that there's no possibility of you being promoted to the next grade. I've made arrangements for you to be transferred into the occupational program with the other kids who are slow. I don't want to embarrass you in front of all the smart kids, so I won't make you go right now. You can start first thing tomorrow morning. And last, but certainly not least, Pete Mustard. You're obviously a quick learner, Pete. You almost got a perfect score.
C'est bon.
And you're going to have to find a new buddy now because of William's learning problems.
How about that Margot? I hear she's smart as a whip.
I thought I might find you here.
Did you see the new tongue and groove wide plank pine flooring they got in?
You and your wood.
How'd things go with Margot?
She wants a bigger cut. I explained to her what I wanted from her in return.
It's hard to believe a kid that age would even consider it.
Don't let her age fool you. She's as cold and ruthless as they come. Margot has her sights set on winning another reading drive, and I pity whoever gets between her and that goal. She has no conscience.
When is she going to let you know?
She knows the matter will be resolved, with or without her help. Sooner just makes more sense than later, from everyone's point of view. Still, it's a hell of a thing to ask of a kid.
You know, sometimes I think you are just too sensitive to be a vicious homicidal crime lord.
Well, there are days. Days when I think I would have been better off finishing my forestry degree. A nice cabin in the woods, away from it all.
With a deck. A really big deck. With different levels and detailed balusters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Who's kidding who, though? I'd miss the killing and extortion.
Me too. Me too, honey. Come on, let's go grab a hoagie and have sex. That always cheers you up.
So even though I spent my whole life dreaming of meeting my biological father and forming a friendship with him, when I found out it was you, I changed my mind. Instead of you, I'd rather have no father, because you're such a dumb son of a bitch and really ugly and stupid too. It's no wonder your wife kept having sex with other men and left you.
Sex?
What?
It's no wonder your wife kept having sex with other men and left you.
That's not how you spell sex, Mr. Mustard.
You're a loser, Frank.
Where's my money?
Yeah, we never shook, prick. Little bastard sucker punched me.
The message you left on my answering machine didn't make much sense. What do you want?
Not here. Come on.
Let's find another room. So what was so important I had to drop everything and rush down here?
You better tell your friend to be real careful. She's about to open a very dangerous can of worms.
What are you talking about, Butch?
Tommy Rubella. He and his Margot dame have some sort of unholy alliance. My guess is she was looking to short track her way to the top of the reading drive. Got in over her head.
What's her last name?
I don't know why.
Because I'm willing to bet it's Calhoun, and that the guy I'm pushing for information is her father.
Looks like the apple don't fall far from the tree. How do you want to play this one, baby?
I need you to find out Margot's last name. If it is Calhoun, be real careful. I don't want her old man skipping town before I get the information I need.
Look, I got gym class in 5 minutes and I still gotta change. I gotta get going.
I'll meet you at your office after school. In the meantime, see if you can find out Margot's last name and how she's fixing the contest.
You're late.
What do you want, Tommy?
Payback for what you stole from me.
You've had a guy tailing me for 2 days. If you wanted me dead, they'd be throwing dirt on me by now. I guess you're looking for something else.
You have a very brave daughter.
You stay the hell away from her. She's just a kid.
She's the only reason you're still breathing. I need her to win the reading drive. She made it clear to me that if I killed you, she'd throw the contest.
I'm off the hook. I'm off the hook.
Not so fast, Calhoun.
What the hell's going on?
I had Mexican for lunch, and there's still a little matter of your debt to be cleared up.
You met with Blanche du Maurier earlier today. She's increasingly becoming a nuisance for my business concerns. She and her alcoholic, prematurely ejaculating friend, Butch Patterson.
Kill them both and your debt'll be paid off.
Hey, come on. I'm a lot of things. Drug runner, amateur forensic scientist, gold medal Olympian, but I ain't no murderer.
Kill or be killed. It's up to you.
You say we get together after class. I'll remind you why God gave you woman parts.
Where the hell were you?
I had a detention.
For what? Butch, what for?
See, swearing, drinking, smoking, fighting, and I came on to the librarian.
So what did you find out?
Well, when I was in the principal's office waiting for my mom to come down, I stole all of Margot's school records and an ashtray and $4 in change. Turns out you were right. Her last name is Calhoun. I followed her home, too. You'll never guess who was waiting on the front porch to meet her. Her old man.
Something's up. Rubella must have turned down the heat if the guy was willing to put himself out in the open like that.
My guess is he cut a deal on the side.
Why would Tommy deal with the man who double-crossed him?
I figure he cut the deal with Margot. Tommy can't win the raiding drive without Margot's help. I think Margot cut her old man some slack by threatening to take a dive.
Tommy wouldn't just let him walk. My man doesn't have the money it takes to make amends, so I figure Tommy must be pushing him for something else.
Next on Butch Patterson.
Tommy found out Calhoun was sticking his hand up the company bum. Tommy puts a mark out on Calhoun's ass. Some wise ass looking to make a name for himself gives Calhoun a lead enema and ends up collecting a paycheck big enough to put him ass deep in cash up to his genitals.
That's a lot of anal and penis references for one sentence, Butch.
Thanks.
I want my money back, Patterson.
Go to hell, prick.
I've had it up to my ass with your little cock and bull story, you lying prick. You better start telling me the truth, or so help me God, I'll kick your ass.
That's a lot of penis and rectum references for one sentence.
Thanks. You're not a very good waiter.
Long time no see, prick. I'll have 15 gin and tonics.